Issue: what is the fraud test for piercing the corporate veil? Rule: the fraud test is used to determine whether a parent company has used a subsidiary to commit fraud, injustice, or any wrongful act that harms a third party, typically a creditor or plaintiff. For the corporate veil to be pierced under this test, the following must be established. 1. Unjust, fraudulent, or wrongful conduct. The parent company must be shown to have used its control over the subsidiary to engage in fraudulent, wrongful, or unjust actions. Example: a parent company, knowing that its subsidiary is financially weak, orders it to enter into large financial obligations with third parties and then siphons the subsidiary's assets to avoid paying those obligations. 2. Harm to the plaintiff. The conduct must directly harm the plaintiff or creditor. The mere existence of a parent-subsidiary relationship is not enough. The plaintiff must demonstrate that they suffered due to the fraudulent or wrongful use of the subsidiary by the parent company. Example: a creditor loans money to a subsidiary believing it to be solvent, but later discovers the parent company drained the subsidiary's assets, leaving it unable to repay the loan, thereby harming the creditor. Number 3, element of injustice or fundamental unfairness. There must be evidence of unfairness or injustice caused by the parent's misuse of the subsidiary, such as depriving the plaintiff of their rightful claims or protections. Example: a parent company manipulates the subsidiary's financials to make it appear that the subsidiary has no means to repay a creditor, effectively leaving the creditor with no legal remedy. This constitutes an injustice since the parent company caused the harm by abusing its control over the subsidiary. Application: for example, ABC Corporation is the parent company of XYZ Corporation. ABC Corp creates XYZ Corp solely to secure a loan from a creditor, knowing that XYZ Corp is financially unstable and will likely not repay the loan. ABC Corp then transfers valuable assets from XYZ Corp to itself, leaving XYZ Corp with no resources to satisfy the creditor's claims. In this case, unjust or fraudulent conduct. ABC Corp used XYZ Corp as a fraudulent front to secure a loan that it knew XYZ Corp could not repay. ABC Corp moved assets out of XYZ Corp to shield them from the creditor. Harm to the plaintiff. The creditor suffers harm because they cannot recover the loan from XYZ Corp due to ABC Corp's wrongful transfer of assets. Injustice or fundamental unfairness. The creditor is left without legal recourse against XYZ Corp, despite the fact that ABC Corp orchestrated the fraudulent scheme. This results in a fundamental unfairness as ABC Corp manipulated the subsidiary to avoid paying debts. Philippine context. Under Section 20 of the Corporation Code of the Philippines, corporate entities are generally treated as separate from their owners or parent corporations. However, in cases where a parent corporation engages in fraudulent behavior by abusing its control over a subsidiary, courts may pierce the corporate veil under the fraud test, holding the parent liable for the subsidiary's obligations. For instance, in McLeod v. NLRC, GR No. 14667, the Supreme Court of the Philippines pierced the corporate veil because the owners of the corporation committed fraud by using the corporate structure to evade their obligations and harm employees. The court held that the fraudulent conduct justified holding the owners personally liable. Conclusion: under the fraud test, if a parent company misuses its control over a subsidiary to engage in unjust or fraudulent conduct, causing harm to a plaintiff or creditor, courts may pierce the corporate veil. This allows the plaintiff to hold the parent company liable for the subsidiary's actions or debts. In Philippine law, this test can be applied when there is a clear showing of injustice or fundamental unfairness due to fraudulent conduct. This IRAC analysis, with examples and relevant laws, provides a clearer understanding of the fraud test for piercing the corporate veil and how it applies in both general and Philippine contexts.